Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Qadash. Welcome to another Hebrew lesson. We're going to go over another 10 words in the Hebrew, in the Lashawan Qadash. Today is March 21st, 2018. And I have 10 words. And I also have a couple of scriptures to cross-reference some of these words that we're going to go through. Excuse me. And pretty much we're just going to get to it, you know. The first word here is actually one Hebrew character, which is the letter or the Hebrew character ha. And the Hebrew character ha, just bear with me one second. The Hebrew character ha is the. All right, and that's the way you would say the. There's no precept that's coming to mind, or a word that's coming to mind right now, but it's the, or you know, like you could say ha sapar, which is the book, which ha is the and sapar is book. All right, so the first word is actually a Hebrew character ha, which is the ha sapar, the book. Okay, the next one is la. Just bear with me one second. La, which la is two. Okay. These devils that call themselves so-called Jews, they like to use a term kosher for Passover, right? And they put kosher for Passover, la Pesach, right, which is two Passover. You know, they say the Passover, but it's two Passover. I mean, you could use it for the, but really it should have been ha Pesach if they, you know, if you want to get technical. Ha Pesach would be the Passover. Two Pesach would be two Passover. You know, so the Hebrew character la is also the word two. That's what it means, you know. I mean, I went through the lesson of the letters and what certain ones of them mean, and the la means lamad, which means learn, you know, or to learn. So it's different from this, you know. So the la here, this usually would be accompanied with another word, you know, in conjunction with another word. Same thing with the ha. Okay. All right, the next word we have, let me back this up a little bit. The next word that we have here is the word aitazah. Now, the word aitazah is where you get the word tree. All right, and that's where you get the word tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the scriptures in the book of Genesis 1:1. It says, "And the power said, let the earth bring forth the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so." And as you read throughout the Hebrew portion of the this blue letter, you look through here, and you have just bear with me one second till I find it. Right here, Zerai, which is seed, and Aitazah, which is tree. Scroll down, the word tree, H6086. The word is Aitazah. Tree, wood, timber, stock, plank, stalk, stick, gallows, tree, trees, wood, pieces of wood, gallows, firewood, cedar wood, woody flax. And if I'm not mistaken, this may be the same word that's used in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, where the Lord told Ezekiel to take the 2 sticks, you know, which is actually a plank. But in this case, this particular Itazah here is speaking about an actual tree. All right. And it says, notice it says, and the power said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself. Because really, you're not supposed to have any seedless foods, you know, because the seed is what the Lord used to plant into the earth, which the seed would be the masculine and the earth is feminine, and that seed planted into the earth represents life, and it would bring forth fruit, and those fruit would actually have seeds in them, you know. And that's how you're supposed to have fruit. Fruit is supposed to have seeds in them, not be seedless. Like you have seedless watermelons and seedless oranges and seedless apples and seedless this and seedless that. They even making now. I heard they were making seedless avocados. I believe in England or in Europe somewhere. You know, so these devils, they're destroying the natural course of everything, you know, upon the earth. And it was so every fruit is supposed to have seed. All right. And that's how it grows. That's the natural order of things. Anything else is confusion, you know. All right. So moving on. That was Itazah, which is tree. Now the next Hebrew word, or Lashawan Qadash word, is the Hebrew word Abba. All right. And the Hebrew word Abba means father. Like in the case of our Father's prayer, it's Abba Nawa. All right, let me drop this down so we can. Abba Nawa, right? Which Abba Nawa means our Father, because the Abba is father and the Nawa or Nawa is our. So Abba Nawa, our Father. Now notice in the English it's our Father, but in the Hebrew it's Father our. See, because the subject comes first, you know, in all cases, you know. And there's a lot of languages that are like that the subject comes first, you know, and then whatever describes it comes after, you know. But in the English tongue, everything is backwards. All right, so Abba is father, as in Abba Nawa, our Father. All right. And when you go to the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, it says, Exodus 20:12, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee. And this is the first commandment with promise, as the scriptures say. If you honor your father and your mother, you would have long life or long days upon the land. Because there was also a law in Deuteronomy where if you had a unruly child that didn't want to work, or that was just a drunkard, that just was just out of whack and just not, you know, a bad seed, so to speak, he would be put to death, you know. So he was dishonoring his parents, you know, disrespecting them, you know, and doing all type of madness. And he wasn't 5 years old either, you know, going to hell because he lied to his parents. You know, this is a man that is of age, you know, and then he would be put to death for disrespecting and dishonoring his parents. So this is the first commandment with promise, that if you would honor your father and your mother, you would have long, you know, you would live long, your days would be long. All right, so now as we look through here for the word Abba, as you can see here, H1, which is the very first word in the Strong's, is Abba. Okay, and this is the root word. Father of an individual, of the Most High is father of his people, because the Most High is our Father. That's why we say our Father which art in heaven. And another reason why we say our Father which art in heaven is because Yahweh Shai adopted us back to the Most High, because at one time we were considered orphans, you know. Let me just get that real quick. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, and just bear with me. I don't remember the exact verse. You know what? I'll just find it like this. Orphan. All right, here we go. Lamentations 5:3. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. Now, this was literal, because a lot of our, forefathers back then were being put to death, during these different captivities, the Babylonian captivity. So we became orphans, but we also became orphans because the Most High pretty much disowned us. He turned his back on us because we turned our back on him. So when Yahushua came back, he brought the adoption, and he gave us, he brought the adoption, and he adopted us back to the Most High. That's the reason why we say Abba Nawa, or our Father, because we have been adopted by the blood of Yahushua back to the Most High, who turned his back on us because we turned our back on him. And as it says here in the book of Galatians, chapter 4 and 6, I'll start at 5, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. So this is Yahushua that came into the world to adopt us back to the Most High, because we went off and the Most High turned his back on us. And because you are sons, the Most High hath sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. And that's why now we say Abba Nawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Hayah, Shemka, which is our Father which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, so on and so forth. That's the Our Father prayer, because Yahushua adopted us back to the Most High. Okay, so the word for father in the Hebrew is Abba. It says a head or founder of a household, group, family, or clan, ancestor, grandfather, forefather of a person, of people. So pretty much the father. All right. So the word Abba is father. All right. The next one, the next word. Let me move this down, and let me move this up. The next Lashawan Qadash word is Amma, which the word Amma is mother. Okay, and when you go to the book of Exodus 20 and 12 again, honor thy father and thy mother. And the word for mother here, H5:17, is Amma. It says mother of humans, of Deborah's relationship to the people, of animals, point of departure or division. So that's the nurturing side, the nurturing parent, which is the mother, and the father is the masculine, the one that would teach you how to be a man, how to conduct yourself, and how not to use your emotions when you're actually conducting yourself in business or in decisions and certain judgments, but the mother would be the one that would nurture you, and would protect you as far as give you food and nurture you, and and do the things that a mother does. Okay, so that's the word for mother. Now the next word that we have on the list is the word bun. And then you see here ba and a na, and this is connected, bun. This is a and a ma, but they're separate. Ama. A and ba, Abba. Ba and na, bun, because this is connected. Now the word bun means son. Okay, it means son. And let's go to the scripture, Genesis 4 and 25. And Adam knew his wife again, which Adam's wife was Eve, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For the Most High said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And we believe through the Spirit that was Abel coming right back, because the name Abel, Habal, means transitory, and the word transitory means to be here for a certain period of time and then move on. Like we always use the term of transit. You know, those buses, they'll come to a stop, they'll pick up the people, let off people, and then move on to the next stop. That's transit or transitory. You're just there for a moment and then you move on. So the reason why Abel was called Habal or transitory was because he was only going to be here for a short period of time and go back into the spirit world. So when the Lord blessed Adam and Eve to have another son, whom they call Seth, we believe this is Abel coming back in the reincarnation, you know, coming right back, you know, into the earth. And then through Seth is where you get that righteous line. And Abel is considered to be a righteous man. You know, as it states, I believe that's the book of Hebrews. I believe that's the book of Hebrews, the 4th chapter. I'm sorry, not 4th, the 11th chapter. 11 and 4. By faith, Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. See, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. So through Abel, we believe, like I said, that Seth came back as Abel because that righteous line had to come back, you know, because Cain was the wicked one, like it states in the book of 1 John, the 3rd chapter, and I believe it's the 12th verse. Right. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous. So Abel was righteous, and Cain was wicked. So that's the perfect balance, you know. So when Abel came on the scene, Abel had to be the son, you know, which Cain killed him. So that seed, that righteous seed, had to come back. Otherwise, there would have been imperfect balance. So when you go to the 5th chapter and the 1st verse, this is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that the Most High created man, in the likeness of man made he him, male and female created he them, because the Lord created many people in the beginning, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. So there was a bunch of Adams created in the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness, because Adam was righteous even though he went off. You know, because Adam is Yahushai. That is Yahushai in the reincarnation, after his image, and called his name Seth. All right. So Seth was the son that took over after Abel was killed, which the word Seth is Shath. You know, it says compensation here, but I'm not sure if that's the actual meaning of the name. I would have to do a little more research, because I don't remember exactly what it means, so I would have to go back and but it says to put set, you know. I would have to go back and check that out, you know. But Seth is really, we believe it's Abel coming back in the reincarnation to reestablish that righteous line of Abel. It says, and the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters, and all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begot Enos. And when you read Genesis, the 5th chapter, this is the lineage of that righteous seed, of the sons of God, you know, the sons of the power. That's why when you read the 6th chapter, this is the men, these are the giants, or the fallen ones, because beginning from Adam, they fell from that great estate that they had, that great righteous stature or righteous way, and they fell away. Okay. And the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter, happens to be, when you read on down, Cain's descendant, this happens to be the lineage of the wicked. Okay. And the lineage of the wicked has similar names to the lineage of the righteous. It doesn't mean that if your name is Enoch, your line goes back to Cain. No, that's nonsense. And like they try to tell you, these so-called wacky ass Christians. All right. So pretty much the word we were looking for was the word son, you know, which was in oh, here goes another one here. This is you have a word son here, and the word for son, okay, it's not in here. Let's go back. The word for son, as you see here, is H1121, bun. Okay, bun is son, son, grandson, child, member of a group, son, male, child, grandson, children, youth, young men. And they use this word for children, and children implies male and female, like it says here, but it's not. When you read the scriptures, child implies, or children implies the sons of Israel. All right. All right. So moving on to the next word. All right. So we have here the next word, as you can see, is the word ach. Ach. Okay. Ach. Okay. And the word ach is brother. All right. The word ach is brother. And when you go to Genesis 44:23, it says, "And thou saidest unto thy servants, except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more." And this was the patriarchs speaking to Joseph, you know, and Joseph was the one that asked for the youngest brother to come, because, you know, that was his brother by their mother, Rachel, and he wanted to see his face. All right, so the word here, brother, from H251 is ach, which means brother. Brother of same parents, half brother, same father, relative, kinship, same tribe, each to the other, reciprocal relationship or resemblance. And if you have the same mother, y'all are still brothers, you know, but your line goes back to your father, you know. Because if you have a mother that has two, if she's a slut and she has two men, and you have two different children by, you know, two sons by one son each man, they're still brothers through the mother, but they have different lineages of the father. Okay, so it's not just having the same father and different mother. You also have the same mother and different fathers, you know, because, you know, that's just the sluttiness that goes on. Okay, so the word for brother is ach. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next one, and let's drop this down so that we can. The next word is the word bayan. Okay. And the word bayan, you could use you could use it as the word between, and also the word understanding. Understanding. All right, so it's between and understanding. All right, so let's go to the scriptures, because when you go into the book of Genesis, the first chapter, and you read about the Lord putting dividing, you know, between this and that, the word between there. Matter of fact, let me go to that real quick. Let me just put in between. Let me close that. Between. Okay. All right, it's not coming up. All right, so let's just skip that for now. I know that there's something in here a couple of times. So you have the word bayan, but let's go to let's see, where are we? Except your youngest brother. All right, here we go. Exodus 31, and I'll start at 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, See, I have called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the spirit of the Most High, in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship, So let's go to the word understanding. It's H8394, which is the word tha-ba-one, right? Understanding, intelligence, the act of understanding, skill, the faculty of understanding, intelligence, understanding, insight. But it comes from a root word, and the root word it comes from is H995, which is the root word bayan, to discern, understand, consider. All right, now, okay, so the word bayan is the word understand or understanding, okay, to understand or understanding. All right, so we got that one, and let's go to the next one. The next word is chacham, and the word chacham, which is chacham is wisdom. That's where you get the word wisdom from. And when you go back to the same precept that we were just at, you have the word here, and I have filled him with the spirit of the Most High in wisdom. You look up the word wisdom, H2451, chakam or chakama, right? And the reason why you have the ha at the end is because it's feminine. Wisdom is feminine, you know, so that's why it's considered as a woman. So that's why you have the ha at the end. Wisdom, skill, wisdom, skill in war, wisdom in administration, shrewdness, wisdom, prudence in religious affairs, wisdom, ethical and religious. When you look at the root word chakam, H2449, which the word chakam is to be wise, to be or become wise, act wisely, to make wise, teach wisdom, instruct, to be made wise, to make wise, to show oneself wise, deceive one, show one's wisdom. Okay, so that's the word chakam, which is wisdom or to be wise. Okay, so when you're wise is chakam, and then wisdom, which is considered like a woman, has the ha at the end, chakama. Okay, so that's the next word, which is chakam or wisdom. And then the last word on the list is the word yadai. All right, you got ya, da, and I, but the da and the I are connected. Yadai, which the word yadai literally means know or knowledge, because it goes back to the root word for knowledge. And in the same chapter and verse, you have the word here, and I have filled him with the spirit of the Most High in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge. And when you come down here, the word knowledge, H1847, da'ith, which is knowledge, perception, skill, discernment, understanding, wisdom. And when you go to the root word, H3045, you have the word yadai, which is to know, learn to know, to perceive. All right, so that's the word for knowledge. So you have understanding, which is bayan, you have wisdom, which is chakam, and you have knowledge, which is yadai. All right, and those are the 10 words in for this lesson. Okay, and what I did was I paused the video for a hot minute because I know that I saw, you know, I knew we read this before because we used to go through Genesis, the first chapter, a lot, where I mentioned that the word for understanding is bayan and also between. All right, when you go to Genesis 1 and 4, and the power saw the light that it was good, and the powers divided the light from the darkness. Now, when you look through here, you don't see the word between. That's why I couldn't find it. But when you scroll through the Hebrew here, you see alahayim, bayan, ha'awar. Okay, so wa bayan ha chashak. So it was the powers. It says divided, but the word for divide is palag. But the powers between, bayan is between, Ha-awar, the light, wa-bayan, and between, ha-khashak, the darkness. Okay? And when you look through here, you see the word, there's nothing here, but you see the word bayan. So the word, in this case, the word divide is badal. Badal. And then it's also palag or peleg. But then when you scroll through here, you see a word here without anything there. That's the word bayan. And the word bayan, H996, is between, among, in the midst of, with other preps, from between. And then when you come through here, sometimes in the place masculine or feminine, properly the constructive form of an otherwise unused noun from bayan. You go to bayan to discern, understand, consider. All right, I just wanted to make that step because I know we've gone over it before, but I just couldn't find it at the moment. So just wanted to share that with you brothers. So with that, I hope you brothers have been edified. To the next time I say shalom.